Okay guys, welcome back to the ZeroEmpires Invitational. This is round 1, game number 2 between Crusher and Toady. The score is currently 1-0 to Toady, and game number 2 now is on Budapest, which is actually played on a small map, not tiny, for various reasons, which we will talk about very shortly. But yeah, down to the south of the map in the blue, we have got Crusher playing as the Saracens. Obviously with a double TC start here, and you did notice this one took a little while to get going. Obviously it takes a lot more out of you to actually do a 2 TC start. It can be incredibly challenging for even the best of players. Up to the north of the map, we've got Toady in green playing as the Saracens as well, of course, with again that 2 TC start. Now, this map, Budapest, I think it's fantastic. Not only do I love a double TC start, which it's always fun because it does, there's a slower start to the game, but it gets faster and faster and faster as you get into the feudal age and the castle age because of those extra villagers that you're going to be gaining throughout the course of the game. So double TC starts definitely a lot of fun to watch. And of course this map is good as well for other reasons. Now the reason it's played on small is because with tiny map it can be incredibly difficult to get space. You end up being right on top of your opponent, and that's because each TC has a corresponding lake behind it, and these lakes take up quite a bit of space, so land is almost a premium, especially in a tiny map. So if this map was on tiny, you see how close they are already on each side. They'd be even closer, and that would just make it really difficult. And you know, there's a lot of extra resources on this map as well because each TC has the standard resources surrounding it. And on a tiny map, it's just a little bit too chaotic and a little bit too confined in terms of space. Though saying that, I can't really talk after playing so many 8-player tiny arena games, which is just stupid. It is so stupid. I don't even know why. But yes, so double TC starts are interesting for a couple of reasons because there's a few ways you can approach it. Now, you can continue villager production from both TCs for the duration of the Dark Age. Now, doing that will mean that you spend a long time in the Dark Age because normally, you know, if you've got a 1 TC start, you put 6 villagers onto food, and then you build up, you know, you follow that standard Dark Age build order with most of your villagers going to food until you get to the 500 mark. Now, if you've got an extra TC going, it means that you need an extra 6 villagers gathering food for the entire time just to get the constant food that you need to keep villagers coming out from 1 TC. So that means that, of course, you're going to have a slower feudal age time typically. Now, there are a couple of things that you could do to change that. Of course, you could... Oh, Crusher nearly losing his boar there. Those sheep blocked it. I don't know if that was intentional, but yeah, the sheep blocked it. The boar almost went back. But yeah, as I say, you can take a little bit of a risk perhaps and stop villager production for a little while from 1 TC and then go up to the feudal age much more quickly. It is possible to do a very fast feudal time on a 2 TC map at the cost of having less villagers. But sometimes the cost of less villagers doesn't outweigh the benefits of going up to the feudal age faster. If you can do a really fast feudal time and your opponent stays in the Dark Age forever, then you could really rush them down very quickly and do a huge amount of eco damage, allowing you to catch up ultimately anyway. So I always like to see whether players do like almost like a Dark Age boom, or whether they try and do a fast feudal and go up to the feudal age quickly and do some eco damage as fast as they can. Now, one thing I noticed Crusher doing here is he's kind of doing... It seems to me like he's doing 2 simultaneous build orders for 1v1. So in this side, he's took his boar in, he's taking his sheep, he's doing his wood and berries like normal. And on this side, he's doing the same, nearly, bringing his boar in sort of alternately even, onto each TC. Whereas Toady, well, he's done both boar on one side, and now I imagine he's going to do both boar on the other side. It can be a little bit difficult to manage, and in fact he's actually missed his boar back here, which is a really unfortunate mistake for him to make, because that is a ton of food that he's missing out on. Obviously 340 food in each boar is 680 fast gathering food, which is more than enough to go up to the feudal age if he gathers that. So Yeah, some people like to play double TC maps by having one TC kind of dedicated to 2 resources and the other TC dedicated to the other 2 resources. Sometimes you'll see players make, focusing their food economy on one area, and then they'll focus their wood economy on another. Obviously there are risks in that, because if you lose one TC or you lose villagers in one area, you could lose all of your food income. So I think typically it's better to try and build each economy evenly on each side, but it's debatable because, let's be honest, double TC maps aren't played all that often. So big difference here at the moment is that Toady's making a dock, well, 2 docks quite quickly. That they will be taking advantage of the water back here. Oh, Toady, what are you doing? He's going for a double boiler with this villager. That's pretty fancy. One ball is going to run back though, of course, and I don't know if he really thought that would happen, or even if he misclicked it, but he tried to lure both in with one. Of course, that did not work out, but he's got loom, so it's fine. But as I was saying, yes, Toady a little bit quicker to get the docks out here. He's got 2 docks, 1 on each lake. Going to be taking full advantage of these fish, and that's a good idea. Because not only then have you got 2 TCs, but you've also got 2 docks. Now, if both players do 2 docks, then we'll see a very long Dark Age. I mean, 47 population for Toady already, Crusher on 42, but Crusher's up to the feudal age already on 50%. And that is a pretty good time for him. Now, fast castling is definitely on the cards. In fact, Crusher's got the 4 villagers here taking gold, so it looks like we'll probably see something along the lines of a fast castle from him. Toady, on the other hand, just clicking up to feudal now, and whilst one of his TC's researches the feudal age, he can keep villagers coming out from the other, of course, and he can keep some boats coming out as well if he likes to take the fish. Now, to be honest with you, fish on a 1 TC map can be huge. I mean, if there's water on a map, it's very rare for a player not to take the fish. But I think because you're in a 2 TC situation, a double TC situation, because you're forced to take more food earlier on than you would normally do in a 1v1 1 TC situation, I think the fish kind of take a back seat a little bit. Like the docks come in quite late, and they don't make, like, 4 fishing ships from each dock. They just make 2 from each at this stage. So I think the fish definitely, they help, but in this situation I think they kind of do take the back seat slightly. So we've got Crusher already feudal. He's just about to hit castle in a moment. He's doing a blacksmith and a stable, so he's going to go for knights. Obviously playing as the Saracens here. A pretty tough civilization, really. I mean, they really excel in the Imperial Age. But until then, without that, any eco bonuses, they can be pretty difficult to play against civs in a 1v1 that do have eco bonuses to play with. Toady, yeah, he's going to fast castle. He is really close to the 200 gold mark. Market going up, and also a stable on this side as well. So market stable, they're both going to be going knights by the looks of it, and Toady's starting to wall off a little bit as well, trying to wall across the center of the map. It can be a little bit awkward to wall this map off, because there is a lot of land going across the center. Interestingly enough though, he's actually walling Crusher right in. He's even putting a wall down here on this back side. I don't know if Crusher's really that aware of this, to be honest with you. If we have a look at his fog of war, he sees these walls here, but other than that, he's got no idea. He doesn't realise that Toady's actually walling him into his base. And obviously if Toady does that, then he knows that he can just put the pressure on one side and Crusher cannot escape out the other. That sounds pretty scary. To be honest with you. 2 stables, of course he will create 2 knights simultaneously, and he's going to have an easy time doing that with the economy that he has now. And yeah, it looks like the right hand side here going to be focused on more military, economy. Obviously with these walls he's going to know if Crusher's trying to escape, and on the left side, both stables going up, he's going to focus all of his attacks down onto this town centre and then work his way across by the looks of things. We'll see what Crusher's got to say about that. His second stable going up as well. He's doing bloodlines now also, so making sure to get those researches done. Scale barding armor as well. So yeah, he took my advice from the last game. I said to him between games, Crusher, you had so much food. You could have upgraded your knights before you sent them to their deaths. You could have made that work. But hey, that didn't happen. But he's doing it this time, so maybe he'll be okay. One villager going to go down, though. Obviously, having 2 TCs means you get 2 scouts, and 2 scouts in the feudal age can mean dead villagers. And indeed, that is what we're seeing here. Toady walling up completely now. I think Toady's actually fully walled. He has spent a bit of time doing this, but it's certainly worth it if you can make it work. And oh man, Crusher's going to lose a couple of villagers here as well. Once again, that's... he could have got them, but yeah. Of course, Toady has got bloodlines as well. And he has got the defense upgrades, so these scouts could be picking off villagers fairly comfortably. Crusher first up to castle, first knight's coming out. Well, he's got to get through these walls. There is an opening in the center. Now, if Toady just right clicks here, then his knights will go around anyway. If he scouts this quickly, he's not going to have time. He's not going to have time. If he scouts this quickly, he could kill this villager. This scout could do it. He has got bloodlines on that. But no, he's going to go through this palisade anyway. Now this is one awkward situation that you have to deal with having a huge wall. If it does get breached, you have to be there to deal with that. It looks like if he gets around here, he might be alright. So both of them with +1 defense and bloodlines done. Crusher's gonna get... Is he gonna get in? This is the question. Now palisades take longer to build in the Forgotten Empires, so there we go. He makes it, but he really should be keeping an eye on that and trying to kill that villager to keep that wall open. Golden opportunity missed there. +2 defense for Toady done though. Obviously going to give those knights good longevity under the town centre. And, you know, if you've got knights with +2 defense raiding your eco, it's really worth getting fletching if you're having a hard time defending from that. But nice one. Crusher getting a couple of villagers in here, and that's good. I kind of want to see him doing some damage and doing well, because... you know, he's the underdog, and it's always fun to support the underdog. But Toady, one step ahead of the game. Doc coming down on this right-hand side. Of course, he scouted, or he saw that Crusher had ships over here. He scouted that, Doc, and he's just dumped a fire ship onto the water here. And he says, "No more fish for you, Crusher," which is... yeah, that's a big deal. That's a lot of damage there. And that means no fish. That means less food. And that's going to be a huge disadvantage for Crusher now. You know, that food that Toady is gathering from the ships is really going to add up over time. It will allow him to do a faster Imperial time. It will allow him to sink plenty of food into villager production and, of course, knights and camels as well. So, yeah, Toady's in a fantastic position at the moment. Just needs to sort these idle villagers out, and he'll be fine. Camels coming out from Crusher as well. Of course, the Saracens are great camel civilization. Doing that mix of camels and knights is a nice way to do it. Pardon me, because you do get the... attack advantage against the knights, of course, with the camels, which is useful. Let's be honest. I don't know how many stables Toady has. I think he's got 3. Yeah, he's got 3. He's making a lot of units at the moment. He's on 79 population compared to Crusher's 86. Wow. Crusher's actually really far ahead in population. He's... how has he done that? Oh, he's got... Okay. He's actually got 3, 4... he's got 5 TCs at this stage. And I think, you know, playing as the Saracens, it's important to have a really strong economy. Because, as I said, they don't have any eco bonuses. But they do have an incredibly strong and quite gold-intensive army in the Imperial Age. So, Crusher's actually doing a pretty big boom here. And considering he's not got that much military, he's keeping Toady on the defensive for now. They're saying that Toady's coming in with some knights now as well. And Crusher starting to add more camels, which I think is a great decision. He needs to get more camels out just to defend his economy at this stage. Maybe even some monks. Now, never underestimate the power of the monk. They would be a fantastic addition, to be honest with you, at this stage. But yeah, Toady's got the map control. You know, Crusher has no walls. Toady's making use of that palisade gate even. Fantastic. And yeah, because Toady has this perimeter wall on Crusher's base, he can just go in any direction he chooses, and if Crusher's not ready for that, that's big trouble for him. These villagers fighting these scouts over here. Oh man, they got +1 attack, +2 defense, and bloodlines. These villagers are going down, and man, those scouts got away with way too much. Crusher, of course, doesn't have the resources to send an army over here to fight these scouts. I think he's going to lose yet another villager. Oh my god. Toady getting away with way too much there. 92 population for him, 91 for Crusher now. Toady really taking the lead as we have a little bit of a fight in the middle of the map. With Crusher losing out quite significantly, I think, thanks to the extra defensive upgrade that Toady has at this stage. So, yeah, Toady's looking great. As I said, a monastery here for Crusher would be fantastic, and the reason for that is, well, he's got 1,600 gold, so why not get a monastery at this stage? And also, if he's playing the defensive game, i.e. 5 TC boom, then that monastery will help him to defend against knights and camels really well. It's worth noting as well that this is a 300 population tournament as opposed to the normal 200 of AOC. So that is a kind of a significant difference because it means you've got room for much larger economies and much larger militaries. So obviously doing this amount of boom for Crusher would work if he was in the Imperial Age now and fielding an army. Problem is, he's not, and Toady is just keeping those knights coming out, and I think Toady now is going to have probably about the same eco. Let's see how many TCs he's got. 1, 2, 3, 4 TCs compared to the 5 of Crusher, but he does have, of course, the fishing ships as well. Continuing to raid Crusher's economy. Crusher's lacking those upgrades still on the camels there. He's got so much gold. He's got really incredibly imbalanced economy. I'm not even sure where all that gold's coming from because he doesn't have that many gold miners, does he? I don't know. But he could certainly be making a few more camels at this stage, that's for sure, or maybe even using the Great Saracen Market to perhaps try and buy some food and get these upgrades for these camels. It's all well and good having camels, but if you're still out-upgraded and outnumbered, then you're going to have a tough time. Toady with about 1,000 score lead at the moment and a much larger army at this stage of the game. 123 population to Crusher's 114, but Crusher is doing a decent job considering that, you know, Toady's vastly higher in ELO. He is doing a pretty good job, to be honest with you. Crusher though, just really going to struggle against this raiding, I think. As I say, he doesn't have fletching or anything like that, which makes his TCs really quite ineffective against knight raiding. On the plus side, though, he does have a lot of them, so his villagers at least have somewhere to run. But yeah, as I say, I mean, he needs to sort out this gold situation against spending. He can afford so many units at this stage, but he's pop blocked, which is really unfortunate. But hey, he's got the +2 defense now, which means he's equal in upgrades, and I think he will kill these knights back here. A fantastic play by Crusher there, and just look at the scores suddenly as Crusher kills those knights off. He did a really good job there, and he's actually brought things a little closer to being level after winning that little fight. Less than 500 score lead for Toady at this stage, or about 500 score lead. So Crusher's got a strong eco. He just needs to spend his resources. He really does. He could get the what's he doing? Oh, he's putting a castle up at the front. Okay, nice. A castle from Crusher then. This castle could be huge actually because it will be in range of this palisade, which means he can knock it down and start raiding. But he could also start making some Mamelukes if he desires, and he can go up to the Imperial Age if he gets it up and clicks up now. That's a risk though at this stage because, you know, he really needs more military, I feel. But saying that, Toady is up to the Imperial Age at this stage. He's got 31% there up to the Imperial Age, and well, that's going to be tough. That's going to be very tough. We'll probably see heavy camels coming in. Well, maybe. Actually, no. We're going to see some crossbows coming out on the right-hand side. Interesting. Maybe we'll see some gunpowder from Toady as well. Gunpowder is always fantastic to see. But yeah, Toady's sinking his resources very nicely, and he's got a very good use of resources, a fairly balanced economy at this stage of the game. So Toady's up, and he is 50-60% almost. No castle from him, so we won't see Mamelukes, but as I say, he's doing that thumb ring now. He's getting the archers out on the right-hand side, and this is going to be a pretty powerful combination, actually. If he goes for, you know, capped rams as soon as he gets up to the Imperial Age, which he can afford, and starts bringing in more of these upgrades, then it's going to be difficult for Crusher to deal with, because camels are bad against archers. They're great against other cavalry, but they are weak and they are squishy against archers because 0+0 armor against obviously the 2+2 for the knights. So the armor that they lack is a real problem, and you know, they may have the same health but less attack, and it's difficult for them to do well against arrow fire. That's quite a few crossbows there for Toady. This castle though probably not going to go up comfortably as Crusher focuses down on those villagers, but there's the Imperial Age upgrade. Arbalest is on the way, and Toady going for leather archer armor at the moment as well. And a capped ram research straight away. He's not messing around now. And yeah, more villagers being pulled to get this castle up. Now Crusher's probably on the way up to the Imperial Age as well. He's really not far behind, 95%. He needs to get some army together to fight this crossbow army. And you know what the simple answer is? Do you? Do you? Obviously, I don't know what I was expecting to hear then. I wasn't expecting anyone to actually be able to speak to me because I'm not on chat with anyone. Simple answer is Mangonels, Onagers, and of course Saracens with the access up to the Siege Onagers. That would be perfect against this, well, these Arbalest here. At the moment, these camels are practically useless for Crusher. He cannot run them into this castle as they will die. They will die so quickly if he runs them into this castle. And that's pretty much it. He'll die if he runs them into the Arbalest as well. Camel's just not good at this stage for dealing with arrow fire. Oh dear. Yeah, of course. Brace has been done for Toady here, which means that these camels died so quickly to that arrow fire from that castle. Of course, the extra range and attack did loads of damage. Now Crusher's really struggling, switching into elite skirmishers. But yeah, I mean, this castle is going to go down. Toady's trebuchet on the right hand side dealing a bit of extra damage, as well as those capped rams. And yeah, Crusher's panicking. I think mass elite skirm production coming in, but Toady's really gaining the edge with every second as he keeps pumping out these Arbalest. And well, he's got a lot of resources to burn through at the back of his base. His economy's been untouched. He is gonna have a nice time. Oh dear, quite a few villagers blocking on this left-hand side. Didn't even notice that. But yeah, he's gonna have a good time here. Siege rams done. Arbalest or nearly. Well, yeah, very strong at this stage. And well, Crusher, even with that skirmishers here, I don't know if he's going to be able to defend properly against this. I'd like to see Toady add some Mamelukes just for the hell of it. Quite expensive units though. He doesn't really have the amount of resources at the moment to go into that, but it's nice and fun to see Mamelukes in action. But yeah, as I say, I mean, Crusher really doesn't have the military to defend against this at this stage, even though he's probably got the resources. Yeah, he's got a ton of wood and a ton of food. He's trying to pump out those skirms quickly, but I bet you any money he didn't have time to get conscription from the castle, so his military production not as fast as it could be. Leather archer armor done, +4 attack on these skirms, +2 defense, and well, this is gonna be it. Will these 10 brave skirmishers fight off the 40 or so Arbalest here? I think the answer to that is probably going to be no. Crusher just doing ballistics there as well, and yeah, I mean, the rams coming in just going to soak up all of that skirmisher fire as well. The castle, not the castle, the TC going down to the Treb, and it looks like Toady just about to finish this one off. As this whole section of Crusher's base gets absolutely destroyed, and everything now going down pretty much. Oh man, that's all Toady needs. He just needs to keep the Arbalest coming out and keep the rams coming out at this stage. I mean, these Arbalest are gonna have a pretty easy time dealing with the knights as well. No question about it. And even an attack on the left-hand side from Hussars. Toady's all over this one, and it looks like that's the GG there from Toady, from Crusher even. Toady just really accelerating and pulling ahead there towards the end of the game. And there we have it. Crusher's going to say GG. And yeah, these Hussars on the left side really going to finish things off. I think the real reason Toady managed to really get ahead there is that he had those walls and he had Crusher really pinned into the corner of the map. You know, every single move that was made, Toady knew about, because Crusher had to go past Toady's walls. And obviously Toady, I think, just a faster player in general, able to keep his TCs running nicely, able to manage his military and his economy simultaneously. And yeah, he had a pretty good strategy there as well. The Arbalest and the Rams, definitely a great decision at that stage of the game. The Arbalest, of course, much cheaper than going into things like Mamelukes, and also extremely effective against the camels that Crusher was making. So yeah, I mean, a good game anyway. Toady's going to take the series 2-0. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been another round 1 game of ZeroEmpires Invitational. Round 2 will be starting next week, and things are going to start to get really interesting as we see new maps, of course, new civs, and also as the players start to the higher ranked players start to meet even as the tournament progresses. So thanks a lot for watching anyway. As usual, I've been Zach, and I will see you guys next time.